These card readings are for your entertainment and are laced with my personal opinions and perspectives. I'm not qualified to offer medical or legal advice. Seek professionals for legal, mental, or physical health needs, and know that while cards can give you major insights, ultimately, your moves are yours to make. Hello and welcome to the Get Read podcast, the show where you ask a question of the cards and you get read. I'm Amanda, I'm your reader, and we are at the Pisces Full Moon, Mercury Retrograde. It's a moment. It's a weird and kind of magical moment. It's a real mood, you know? The moon woke me up at its exact peak this morning at 6 a.m. to let the dog out, which I thought was strange. And then I opened the door and there it is, over the mountains, this pink, gigantic Pisces full moon in the misty, hazy fog of the morning. It was incredible to see, and I'm lucky to see it because as soon as it was there, it was gone in like 6 minutes. Yeah, again, weird and magical. That's the mood over here anyway. How's the full moon going for you? Quick announcement before we get into your questions. The fall shifts are going to drop, okay? I do these shift readings for all 12 signs of the zodiac every season, and the fall readings will drop on YouTube and in the shifting space on the fall equinox, September 22nd. Okay, so keep your eyes peeled for the equinox. Those readings, I'm so excited to share them with you. I've just finished creating them and I'm putting the finishing touches on them for you. The deck that I'm using for this season is the Goblins and Gardens Tarot by Jonathan Sacha. Can't wait to share this deck with you. I'm also repping that deck on this shirt, okay? I'm not paid to rep it. I just like it a lot, and I think it's one of the more magical decks I have, and I'm really feeling lucky to bring it to you for your shift readings this fall. Okay, so keep your eyes peeled for those. They will be on YouTube, and the doors to the shifting space will open where you can explore them in a deeper way all season long in a community of people who are as into them as you are. Okay, let's get to it. Some questions for the full moon. First question.
Hi Amanda, I'm a Scorpio sun, Pisces moon, Sag rising, and I want to share with my father that I'm queer. I feel nervous about this, mostly because of how it's gone with other family members, and I also feel hopeful, so just wanted to see what comes up in the cards around this. Thank you so much.
Totally. Oh man, coming out to your father. You know, I have to say, have you seen the Sag shift reading for summer? Because it's literally called Coming Out. Okay, so dear caller, check that reading. You know, that reading talked a lot about the fact that you have time and that you get to take this as slowly as you need to. So take that for what you will. Okay, let's ask. Let's give some advice to this caller for coming out to her dad. Coming out to your father. Okay. Yeah. Okay, Knight of Swords on the bottom of the deck, which is an energy that moves really, really fast. And again, I'm wondering if there's any amount of slowness that could be part of the advice here. Because let me show you the 3 cards that have come out for your question here. We have the 9 of Wands, we have the 10 of Swords, and the 2 of Wands. So the 2 of Wands is certainly indicating this choice. It's a bold choice, it's a bold move, and it's the kind of choice that once you make it, you can't really take it back, you know? Like, it's like, okay, it's bold, it's courageous, and we're going. And then we have the 9 of Wands, which is just like exhaustion, feeling pretty spent, feeling like maybe this has been a lot lately, a lot of intensity, a lot of discomfort with the 10 of Swords. You know, you're saying that coming out to some other folks has not gone so well. And I'm wondering if that's where the 9 of Wands and 10 of Swords are coming in, indicating and reflecting to you that like coming out is hard and can be, it's not for everyone, but it can be very difficult. And it's important to go at the pace that's right for you. And the way that you'll know what pace is right is by tuning in with how it's been feeling so far. And what I'm looking at with the 10 of Swords is a sort of painful end of the rope type surrender, especially with the 9 coming before it, the 9 to the 10. There's this numerical progression where with the 9, you're almost at the culmination. Numerologically, 9s do represent endings. And in the 10 of Swords, that in the tarot, that is a little bit of a painful, sometimes necessary ending. So I guess, listen, I guess this reading is just questioning how fast you need to go with this. And what I'm seeing in the 2 of Wands, we have this very human looking goblin looking right at us here in this card, facing us very head on, even a little confrontational, very direct. And I think this is you. And I think really the question here, I mean, look at the 10 of Swords. The 10 of Swords is like an older, it looks like an older man, you know, like, is this you? Is this your father? I think the 2 of Swords wants to empower you to do this however and whenever is best for you without feeling any kind of pressure to move faster than you need to, especially considering the Sagittarius reading that is quite literally about a scenario where someone is coming out for the first time. I don't know, these cards can be read a lot of ways. That's my first instinct that's coming out. But there is another reading here where the 9 of Wands to the 10 of Swords is just, I can't go on like this anymore and I just have to end something. You know, like I'm tired, I'm exhausted, and I just gotta end it. So does that mean you just gotta say what you need to say and get it out there, even if it might be uncomfortable and it might be kind of painful, but a painful ending is better than continuing to hold it and carry it? I don't know. Again, the 2 of Wands is really about choice, and it's about autonomy, and it's about how bold do you feel like being with the 9 of Wands? The 9 of Wands talks about energy level, and it talks about the effort that you have been expending up into this point, and it does ask you, are you in the condition to make this choice right now and to have this conversation? One that seems like it's going to be a big one, you know? I wonder. Let's read a little. I love reading from the Goblins and Gardens guidebook. I read from the guidebook for your fall shift readings you'll see on the equinox when they drop. Because I think this book is really gorgeous and the guidebooks sometimes are so good and they get buried. So let's read a little bit about your Ten of Swords card here. The key words here are accept, sleep, farewell, and rainbow. The storm giants are a tired bunch. Even those that survived find themselves run ragged. They settle in for the long sleep in devastation's wake. The crown of the maidenhair ferns has fallen. Who will pick it up off the washroom floor? Your suffering has been harsh. There were probably times when you thought you wouldn't make it. Many did not. But you're a survivor. Know that this epoch has elapsed and you have weathered the wrongs. Okay, whoa. That's beautiful. I'm sort of feeling like reading the Two of Wands now. Keywords here: dazzle, bridges, invitations, and past lives. Two sand verbenas burn bright in the eyes of a Nixie beside the bridge. New worlds are shimmering and kaleidoscoping on shifting sand. Golden light is no longer just let in by trees on long afternoons. It's put in letters to your lovers, kept in knuckles when you're knocking on your neighbor's door. You've traveled a long ways, but maybe not in this lifetime. The hourglass is on its side. Take time to plan, and the future will ask you to make decisions soon enough. Interesting. Unexpected. So, maybe there is something here. Those two readings are certainly acknowledging the difficulty that you've been through. I mean, the Ten of Swords literally talks about you've survived, but you've find yourself run ragged, you know? So maybe right now the cards aren't really answering any questions about whether you should or should not do this. I think the cards are wanting you to acknowledge any sensations of exhaustion you are feeling from maybe the coming out process, and to hand you back your autonomy entirely, saying, and this is what the message that came through the Sagittarius reading for the summer shift: you have time. And again, the choice is absolutely yours, Two of Wands. If you are at the end of your rope in the sense that you have got to get this off your chest, the card is here. The Two of Wands is your choice. You hold it in your hand. You go for it. If you are exhausted, burnt out, and need a minute before you tell another person, another big player in your life about this, you have time. Everybody comes out differently. There's no set timeline. There's no supposed to. It's just so personal and so individual. I hope that helps. Go watch that reading. It might help you. Okay. Next.
Hi, Amanda. I am a Libra sun, a Gemini moon, and a Scorpio rising. And my question has to do with my relationship with my body, my physical body. I've been getting an increasing amount of physical symptoms since about March, and now am needing to get some tests done, and I will admit that I have a lot of fear. And also a lot of anger towards my body right now about what's going on and why. I'm trying to communicate and listen to my body, and I don't understand. And I guess my question for the cards is how to move forward in a way that is loving towards my body, that can be promoting of healing with my body, and how can I be in a better relationship with my body even with these symptoms that are going on that I would rather choose not to be going on. And if the cards have any advice, that would be wonderful. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks for calling in. Thanks for asking. I'm going to start by saying something you already know. I am not a doctor, and I can't really, I can't in any way offer you medical advice. I'm not qualified, and neither are the cards. But that's not what you're asking, but I have to say it. It sounds like you have a doctor, you have a medical team, and you're getting it all looked into, so that's awesome. You are asking about your relationship to your body and your approach to what's happening to you. And it sounds like you're asking, you know, how can I connect to my body in this time when I'm feeling all of these feelings? I'm feeling mad, I'm feeling disconnected, I'm trying to listen, and I'm not understanding. So, okay, what is the way in, right? Like, how can you connect? Okay. Interesting. I'll take this Medusa card. 3 of Wands. I don't think that wants to come out, but let's see. Medusa for the anger. That's right. Yeah, look into some different some of the mythology around Medusa and some of the modern interpretations. And the star. Yeah. 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 Okay, so you have the 3 of Wands here, which does talk about looking into the future planning. There's a lot of maybe like solution-oriented energy towards the long term in this card that feels really positive. I think it's telling me that if you widen your perspective and you take a stance with your body that you're in this for the long haul, which you obviously are, but imagining it, saying it, there's something sort of declarative about like, okay, I'm in this with you, we're in this together, and we're in this for the journey, for the longer trajectory, for the bigger plan that I don't yet know about, but I'm willing to go on the adventure with you. That's the sense I'm getting from the 3 of Wands. I don't know what's on the horizon, but I can see the horizon. So the path from point A to point B, we know nothing about. But again, it's an adventure that I'm willing to go on. It's a path I'm willing to walk. You know? Take up your wands. Let's go. Because the star card also came out, which is a beacon. The star is a beacon in the sky that is a guide. It is an implication of something, again, something higher that is guiding this journey that you may or may not be able to fully comprehend or understand as you embark on it. But it is an indication of faith, an indication that if you're willing to walk the path, you will be shown the way, even if it's just by one single glimmer of light in the sky. Okay. The 3 of Wands and the star. The 3 of Wands, remember, is up on a high point, getting the bigger picture, getting the bigger perspective so they can make a plan. Okay. The other card that came out here is this gorgeous 6 of Wands card. We have a really intense juxtaposition here between the vengeful Medusa, and I'm calling her that because I think her anger is important to acknowledge, and so is yours. I mean, if you're watching the video version of this podcast, if you're watching the video cast on YouTube, the face of Medusa, the head of Medusa in the center of this card is filled with rage, fearsome rage, and surrounded by absolutely gorgeous blooming flowers. So there's a real contrast in this card that's coming through, and I think that is acknowledging the complexity of your experience, that you can hold anger next to softness, and you can hold ugliness and terror and disgust next to hope and faith and simple pleasures and even beauty. That both can exist in equal magnitude, in the same kind of energy. And that energy in these cards is the Six of Wands, which is one of being celebrated. So it seems to me so far like committing to being on this adventure with your body and finding the faith to stick with this, to commit to doing this together, you know, like as if your body is something separate from you. It is not, but if you think of it in that terms, sort of shaking on it and saying, okay, we're going to go through this together. The key to being able to get that kind of perspective and keep that kind of faith along the way is this Medusa coexisting with the coneflowers, you know? Interesting, coneflower, echinacea for the immune system. It's indicating themes around healing. And so perhaps part of the healing is this anger coming to the fore and being able to hold it and be present in it and acknowledge it and even embody it. If you need to be Medusa sometimes, turning everybody out there to stone, then sometimes you need to be Medusa. But go take Medusa out into the field of wildflowers and let her also enjoy their fragrance and their colors and their beauty, and let them remind you, even as your anger is fully present on the surface, that beauty is here too, and softness is here as well. And also that things are very, very ephemeral. I'm thinking of coneflowers and like how they come up right at the end of the summer season, and they're a beautiful indicator that summer is transitioning to fall. Oh, and I'm thinking about, and I'm saying coneflowers, by the way, because this looks like a coneflower to me. I think it is. Also, I'm thinking about if you ever pick up a coneflower, its center part here where the seeds are is spiky as hell. Kind of like this Medusa energy, really spiky, really sharp, like it will cut you, it will hurt you. Interesting. So again, that is a very natural thing, that coexistence of something sharp and prickly and kind of nasty on such a gorgeous, beautiful bloom that is also soft and delicate. So like, let yourself be complex. Live with your complexity. Maybe there's a way that you can... Six of Wands is making me think of like honoring that with ritual, because it makes me think of like community celebrations and the ritual of celebrating someone in community. Can happen at like graduations, which is like a rite of passage, or even a wedding could be considered a rite of passage, a birth, you know, it is this like the ways we honor the transitions we are making in our lives. Interesting. I wonder how you can hold ritual with yourself or ceremony if you like that word better, or even vigil if you prefer. Something consistent, a consistent practice of celebration of the contrasts that are existing in your experience simultaneously. That's fascinating, kind of cool. I wonder if that's interesting to you, because maybe you can figure out what that means and try that. Try creating a ritual for yourself that regularly uplifts and celebrates and honors and acknowledges the absolute pain and anger and frustration alongside the delicacy and the beauty and the protective qualities of those emotions. And just like, what ceremony could you hold for yourself that would just let them all be present? And I'm wondering, since this is usually a card of community celebration, who else can you get involved in this process with you? Who can be there with you to acknowledge, uplift, honor your experience as you are experiencing it? Note that the Three of Wands is not one person looking at the journey ahead. It's three people. It's a team. Make sure you're not alone in this. And star card. Keep the faith. Aquarius. Saturn's in Aquarius. I wonder what that means for you. I wonder where that is in your chart, what that is affecting in your chart. Saturn in Aquarius square Uranus and Taurus is going to be, again, pretty closely aspecting and extra highlighted this fall. So, especially with the Taurus and Scorpio eclipse axis. So TBD, like the Three of Wands is like to be determined. Much is yet unknown and much lies ahead. Are you up for this adventure, and is there a way that you can honor and acknowledge the complexity of your contrasting experience along the way? Can you be Medusa in the wildflower field? Nice image. Okay, I hope that helps. Keep me posted. One last question.
Hi, Amanda. You've helped me so much, and I figured I'd reach out one more time. On the same day that I started my stimulation cycle for IVF, my husband lost his job. So we're just trying to navigate what the hell this all means. I am wondering if you can help me see what just might be in store for us for the next 4 months. Like, how is this year going to end? What are some things that we can be looking for, working together within ourselves, within future opportunities, whatever that might mean. But can you please just shed some light on our family endeavors? Thanks.
Yep. Wow. First of all, thank you for calling in. Y'all, don't be shy, okay? If you know anything about me, if you've gotten a personal reading with me, the thing that I find most potent about tarot and about personal readings in particular is when we are able to work consistently over time. Because when you get the cards and you revisit them through a longer period of time, right? That's why I do seasonal readings that you get to live with and live through for a longer period of time. You let that energy really like seep into you for a longer, you hold the card for longer and it speaks to you. It has time to reveal itself to you and reveal its messages. And you have time to process and integrate them through lived experience, not just intellectual processing. Anyway, what I'm saying is, y'all, call in multiple times to the podcast. If there's room, I will read for you. You know I love it. And I love a follow-up story. Okay, so what you're getting so far, I'm just going to acknowledge that the Six of Wands from the previous question is here on the bottom of the deck. And that question, it shows the rageful Medusa in a patch of beautiful wildflowers. And it really talked in the last reading about honoring the complexity of experience, where like total rage, confusion, frustration can exist alongside like beauty and love and feelings of protection. Like it can be complex and contrasting and be happening all at once. So that's the first thing, that you may be having very complex experiences, and that's okay. The card that is coming out for you so far is the Two of Coins, and it is showing this goblin holding two, what are they, cabbages? Brussels sprouts? They're Brussels sprouts, because you can see the stalk behind them. Okay. So this little goblin is here having chosen these two Brussels sprouts off of the stalk. And it feels to me like it's speaking about practical choices. You now have more things to juggle, and your choices need to be very practical as a result of that. You know, it's like now someone threw another ball in the ring, and you have all of this now that you are holding. Okay, so it does speak to me of like, whoops, there's an extra thing here now to have that you have to deal with in a very practical way, and it may require you to choose one thing over another in your life, or to sacrifice some things in order to preserve others, because you may not be able to balance and hold them all at the same time. Let me get some more cards. Ten of Wands. Yeah. Yeah, the Ten of Wands is also saying a similar thing of like, when you get to the point of oversaturation, when it just becomes too much, when you really can't hold anymore, something's got to give. Something has to be put down, let go of, when the burden suddenly becomes too much. Like, for example, financially, you know, if now your husband doesn't have a job, and I don't know what kind of financial position that's going to put you all in, but the Ten of Wands talks about carrying something that's just too heavy and having this burden, you know, like I just mentioned with the Two of Coins, holding too much. And that's only so far you can go holding all of that. So tens indicate some kind of ending, some kind of culmination, like, all right, something's got to give so that this load can be a little lighter. And again, it's a very practical decision, having to make practical choices right now to simplify. Yep, Three of Wands, there you go. Looking at the future and realizing you need to downsize, or realizing you need to simplify, or realizing it's good that things are as minimal as possible. Because continuing to add more and overload your life within your given circumstances right now will likely not serve your future plans. So it's sort of like, okay, these three goblins here that are going on this, that are looking at the long term with the Three of Wands, and they are making plans for the future and making plans for the path ahead, now have something extra that they have to carry on the journey. And so they have to rid themselves of anything extraneous, Ten of Wands, that would weigh down their pace and their experience. Two of Coins, tough choices, for sure. Tough choices, choices that involve clearing out, downsizing, simplifying. Keep things as simple as possible. Don't add anything else to your plate, into your life. And that's that. Here you all are in the Three of Wands, these three planning for the future and realizing they need to keep things as simple and as light and as easy to hold as possible, which again may involve making some choices right now. Yeah. Okay. Hope that's helpful. Okay. All right. Thank you all for calling in and for getting read on the podcast. I hope these readings were helpful to you, and I hope y'all enjoyed taking a little sneaky peek at this gorgeous deck. I'm looking so forward to dropping your fall shift readings on the equinox on September 22nd. So mark your calendar, keep your eyes peeled. If you don't already, follow me on Instagram at unseenhandstarot so that you can keep up with the latest. If you want to get on my mailing list, you go to unseenhandstarot.com. There's lots of ways to stay connected to this work if you are enjoying it. And I have so much to share with you all this fall. Shifting Space members are getting this whole planner, journal, calendar, shift companion that is a labor of love that I've been working on creating for you all to help you track your shifts week by week, month by month, and really be able to see how your shifts unfold over the season and reflect back more tangibly. So that is a creation I can't wait to use, and I can't wait to share with you. So anyway, keep your eyes peeled. Peek into the shifting space when the doors open. See if you're into it, if you're not in there already. And I can't wait to drop your shifts. If you'd like to get read on the podcast, just go to unseenhandstarot.com, click the microphone, record your question for the cards, let me know your sun, moon, rising if you know it, and submit. That's it. Maybe you'll get read.